Hello. Hello, everyone. It's Natalia Powers, holistic success personal brand strategist, here to share on a topic that is going to position us for success to finish 2022 strong, however that looks for you, and to position yourself for success in 2023. And our topic today is your wealth is in your holistic health. All right. Your wealth is in your holistic health. And the type of wealth that I'm talking about is not just financial wealth. Okay. I do believe that the wealth is twofold, it's spiritual and it's financial. Hey, Tranisha. So, your wealth is in your holistic health. And this topic is so good. This topic is so good because a lot of us, we want to experience our best life, right? We want to live life to the fullest. We want to live in a way to where we're progressively, reaching into our full potential. We're progressively, experiencing just unforgettable experiences and success, right? And so, with that being said, we're looking, right? Like our journey through life is where we're seeking, we're knocking, we're asking, how can I access wealth spiritually, emotionally, relationally, financially? We're all seeking and looking and knocking. Well, some of us are, okay? Um, so for the ones that are hungry for success, for the ones that want to take advantage of the beauty and depth of character that God created us with, and for those of us that just, don't want to settle for less and want to break free from mediocrity and complacency, we're looking, right? Like we're on a journey where we're looking. And that's how I consider myself. I'm looking, I'm knocking, I'm asking, I'm praying, I'm believing, I'm fighting, I'm striving. So, with that being said, with all of that looking, there is the temptation and the tendency to look way too far than you really have to look, you know? Sometimes we're trying to buy our way into success. Sometimes we're trying to like do too much to find our wealth, and we're stressing ourselves out about it. We are doing too much. And the message today is that you don't have to look too far. Like you don't have to stress yourself out trying to find something that is so close. Y'all hear me? It's so close that you don't even realize it, you know? And so, you feeling me, Tranisha? So, you don't have to search, you don't have to go too far out to find your wealth. You don't have to, you know, do too much. Your wealth is in your holistic health. So, what does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? It means that in order to access your wealth, it's really a matter of slowing down your experience with life and through life. Okay, you've heard me say this so many different times because this is the word, you guys. This is just the word, not just for now, but for always. This is the word. If you want to really learn how to access your wealth, both spiritually and naturally, slow down your experience in life and really take inventory. Really take inventory of what you already have. It's within your reach. Okay? And I know like I'm going to take my time trying to break this down. Okay? I'm going to take my time breaking this thing down. Because here's what I've found. Okay? We take for granted what is already within our reach. We take for granted experiences that we've already had. We take for granted victories that we've already won. We take for granted progress that we've already made. Okay? But when we slow down, yes, Tranisha, when we slow down to take inventory of the experiences that we've had, or take inventory of opportunities that are closer than you can even imagine, then you'll start to tap into your wealth and you'll start to feel rich. You'll start to feel richer. You'll start to appreciate more about how God created you. You'll start to appreciate more the word of God, the promises of God, the abundance that is just clearly within our reach. Okay? And so I'm going to I'm saying this, from a personal point of view, but I do want to transition to how this personal point of view of wealth translates to business as well. Okay? Okay, especially for people who want to build a personal brand based ministry or business. Okay, so I'm trying to dissect it. I am gonna take my time, okay, going through this. Okay, so y'all know that I've been talking a lot about connecting to your deepest dreams and desires, right? You heard me say that. When you connect to your deepest dreams and desires, it requires you to take ownership of them, and it requires you to start to pray over those dreams and desires, to start to plan, to start to make connections and relationships to help you realize those dreams and desires and ambitions. Okay. And as you begin to go through the process of manifesting dreams and desires, thank you, Tranisha. Thank you, girl. Because it's not a rush, right? Like it's so rich. And we don't want to gobble, gobble, gobble. We want to take our time. Want to take our time so we can get it and so that we can live it and so that we can enjoy this amazing process of life. Okay. So thank you for the encouragement. Okay. So, so when we start to really connect with our dreams and desires, and ambitions, I believe that as we go through the process of, starting to pray for them, plan for them, execute them, that process it has so much wealth in it. And let me break it down. Let me break it down. And I'm gonna try to give a specific example as well. Okay. So you need to yes, yes, yes. Okay. So that process that you go through to realize your desire for intimacy in your relationships with God, with yourself, and with other people. The process that you endure to have financial responsibility, okay, financial stability, independence, and freedom. The process that you go through to to build your dream business, build your dream ministry or empowerment platform, the process that you go through, okay, when you slow down and take inventory in that process, all right, you're going to find that you are growing in experience. Okay. As you go through your own process, you are growing in experience and you are becoming an expert of that process. If you go through that process slow enough and deep enough. Okay. And so, you know, all of us have our specific lanes, right? Hey, Homer, welcome, welcome. All of us have our process, right? Or all of us have our lane, okay? My lane is ministry, spiritual empowerment, entrepreneurship, um, uh, empowerment in entrepreneurship, specifically in a personal brand, okay? So as I'm going through the process, this is my specific example. You guys share yours. As I'm going through the process to become more intimate with God, to become more consistent with God, as I'm going through the process of reconciling my differences between me and God, I'm getting perspective. I'm getting a unique vantage point of how to empower other people in that same process. Y'all feel me? You feel me? And so, same thing. I wanted more balance in my life. I wanted a more richer, like I wanted a richer experience with life to where I was just not working for my check in corporate America, but I wanted to be closer in my relationship with God. I wanted to be closer in my relationships with my family. I wanted to be closer and my desire for ministry. Okay. So you see how I had some desires, I had some dreams. And as I started to embark on realizing those dreams and going through the process of manifesting those dreams, I started to come up. I started to come up in my realm of influence because of the process that I was going through. Okay. And still going through. All right. And so I'm saying all of this to say that you want to be wealthy spiritually, in purpose, financially, you want to find wealth, start to document your process, okay, that you are going through. Start to talk about your process, okay? Start to share on your process. And as you do that, you begin to attract people who have a similar story. You start to attract people who have similar dreams and ambitions. Y'all feel me? Okay? As you open up and share vulnerably, transparently, you get into the details. Yes. Hello, Renita. Yes, yes, yes. And so, but let me tell you something. I'm gonna keep this thought right here, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you some of the traps that people get into. Tawana! Oh, oh, Tawana! Thank you for joining. Okay, so as you know, as you are going through your process and you are, taking ownership of your dreams and desires, you doing the work, to manifest your dreams and desires, you'll start to find, I like this. I like learning about this. I like exploring about this. I like to, enrich myself in this specific area. Okay. And it might not be all of the areas. It might not be, you want to become a relationship expert as you learn to improve your relationships. It might not be you want to become a finance coach as you go through your journey of becoming financially independent and free and responsible. But you do have some type of lane. We all have a specific lane as we go through our journey that we can start to that we can start to document, and it'll strike up a fire in us like, oh my God, I love learning about this. I love sharing about this. And as you go through your own journey and get results, you can start to share on that journey, build community. You can start to empower in that area. Okay? Y'all feel me? Y'all get me? And so you don't have so when I say your wealth is in your holistic health, your wealth is going through your own journey. Okay? Your wealth is starting to take inventory of the nuggets that you've received, taking start to compile your reflections, your experiences, your mistakes, your mindsets, the problems that you had to really work on, just start to document all of the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, the downs, the failures, the wins. Start to compile all of that. Okay? Now, this is what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to say. Yes, Renita, your wealth is in your health. Your wealth is in your experience. Your wealth is in your process. Because this is the thing. As you go through your process, you are going to be steps ahead of someone that has not started their own journey. You are going to be steps ahead of someone that doesn't even believe that it's a possibility for them. You're going to be steps ahead. Okay? But this is the trap. All right. I want to share on the trap. Okay. Because this is where people get hung up and start to think, I don't have anything to share. I don't have anything to, to find wealth in or to create wealth for myself in. You get in a trap of comparing yourself to other people who are steps down the journey from where you are. You see? You start getting in their pocket. You start getting in their inventory, being all nosy in their business to where you neglect understanding the wealth that you have tapped into from your own journey where you are in your lane. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. Because it's y'all know how they say comparison robs you of your joy, comparison robs you of your wealth, right? If you start to compare someone that's been in the game way longer than you, then you start to minimize what you have to offer. Okay. Yes, comparison is a thief, it's a robber, it's an enemy. Because listen. As you start to take inventory of your experiences, your process, your reflections, your victories, your failures. Take inventory of that and really find value in it. That's another way of saying take inventory of. Start counting up what you have to share. Start counting up what you can talk about. You want to be a content creator? Mind your business. Mind your business. Take inventory of what you have right now on your plate today. You don't have to go too far. Okay? You don't have to go too far to create content. You don't have to learn another thing. Not yet. Start to exercise what you already have. Start to tap into that, and God will begin to expand your few into more because you're being more faithful over the few that you have. And what I mean by faithful over your experiences, faithful over your story, faithful over your testimony. Okay? Faithful of the things that you have to be vulnerable in. God will begin to expand you. Okay? And so everybody want to start something. For people who want more out of life. I had that message. Women are just wanting more today. Kingdom minded people are just wanting more. They don't want to just go to these cookie cutter jobs and spend all their time and energy in these meetings and, just doing everything to build everybody else's dream. Kingdom people are wanting to experience kingdom vision, kingdom success, kingdom building on a more intimate level. Okay? And for some of us, for me, I can't just settle, for my experience on Sunday or my experience, working someone else's job or building someone else's business. Like God gave me something to build. God gave me a legacy that has my name on it. And that's okay. It's not arrogance, it's not pride, it's honesty about the desires and the dreams that God gave you. Okay? And so when you start to begin to share, God will begin to expand you. And then you'll start to really tap in to the wealth of who you are. You'll begin to tap into the wealth of your own story. You know how people say, I've heard this a lot, okay? Well, I haven't been through too much. You know how some people been shot 5 times, they went bankrupt 2 times, they might have experienced, really, really tragic, traumatic things. It doesn't mean that they have more than you to share. That's their story. And our job is to find the wealth in our own story, however boring you think it is, however non-eventful you think it is. Okay? You have something to share. You have a voice that needs to be heard. You have a story that needs to be told. Yay! You said you used to say that too. I haven't gone through too much. It's not true. Listen, it's not true. For me, even for me, I would say, for the most part, I'm not okay. I was gonna say, for the most part, God has been good to me, but God has always been good to me. I have always had some change in my pocket. I've never been the broke type, And I've always had some money to work with. I've always had, amazing relationships in my life, but even with that, even with how blessed I believe I am, and even before the tragedy and trauma of divorce and all of that, I have a story to tell. Like, and that's something that God began to show me is even, from childhood to, my high school days to my college days, through being single and saved, through marriage, separation, divorce, now entrepreneurship, building a personal brand. Like, there's so much wealth in every single one of my experience. But let me tell you how you're going to be able to see the wealth. Okay, let me tell you how you're going to be able to see and discern the wealth that is in your story, no matter how boring you think it is. Okay, okay. Yo, the richest place that you can ever be is in the presence of God. I say it. It's my number one initiative. It's my number one destined initiative, intimacy and consistency in my relationship with God that does not feel forced. It does not feel like a religious rule or routine. It is natural. Okay? That's number one. Because when you have that secret place with God, where you talk to him about all of the things, when you have that secret, quiet, sanctuary, sacred place with God, that's when you're going to tap into the wealth of your story, the wealth of your experience. Okay? We think people have amazing stories and they're doing great things and they're changing the world and making an impact. But let me tell you something. There's nothing like doing life with God. There's nothing like going through life and having intimate conversations with God about what happened when you were a kid, or what happened when you were in that relationship, or what happened when you tried that, job or that business. There's nothing like talking about victories and failures, highs and lows, ins and outs with God. Y'all hear me? Your relationship with God is going to really give you a wealth of wisdom, a wealth of understanding, a wealth of things to share. It's going to be the priceless testimony that you're not going to be able to put a dollar amount on. Yo, another thing that I like to say is royalty is in the air. Royalty is in the air. Royalty is in the air. I am royalty. And I understand how royal I am. I understand how peculiar and chosen I am because I sit in the presence of God. And while I may not have manifested, 6, 7 figures, I understand just because of how my relationship with God is so rich. I understand my worth. I understand what God gave me to share with the world. And when you say I am royalty, when you say that I am, chosen, what you're saying is I understand how amazing God created me to be. I understand how fearfully and wonderfully made I am. I understand how much I have that can't nobody else give. You hear me? Can't nobody do it like Natalia. Can't nobody do it like Tranisha and Renita and Homer. No one can do it like you. Because nobody has sat in your chair. No one has worn your shoes. No one has worn your shoes. No one can wear your shoes. What you have, who you are, is valuable. It is rich. So that's why I say you don't have to look too far and wide to find your wealth. It does not, and what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have to invest. You're going to have to invest in your dreams. You're going to have to invest in your vision, both emotionally, spiritually, financially. Yes, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have to get help and partnerships and coaches and communities to really bring out what's in you to give. But what I'm saying is you have to understand how rich you are with just between you and God. Okay? And so your health, health, your holistic health has to be your focus. You hear me? You're going to take care of you when you understand how valuable you are. You're going to understand. And when you look, oh, I love this analogy. Thank you, God. When you understand how rich you are, you're not going to mind spending time mining for the wealth, mining, in your gold mine. Can y'all hear me? Tell somebody say, I'm a gold mine. I am a gold mine, and I am worth the time. I'm worth the space to just sit with me, sit with God, and really understand who He created me to be and what lane He's calling me to position myself in. Y'all, I've been talking to, about visualizing this door. And inside the door, there's some wings right there on the floor, right? If you feel like you are living a mediocre life, you're feeling like, man, I'm just not feeling this. I want more. I want to be able to fly. I want to be able to, just live life to the fullest. I want thriller. I want excitement and adventure. Then you have to go through that door. Okay? Yes, Tranisha. When you go through that door and you see those wings right there on the floor, those wings represent your zone. It represents your zone of genius. It represents you just really becoming one with who God created you to be. And let me tell y'all, ooh, Jesus. Okay, God. Listen, a lot of us don't feel the excitement and passion in life because we're stuck in positions that are taking away from who God created us to be. And that's why I'm always talking about the call to creative entrepreneurship. Everybody's not called. I get it. I wish, that everyone knew how wealthy they are. Everyone is not called. But for those that are called to creative entrepreneurship, you want to be able to find your place. You want to be able to find your way to unimaginable success. You're going to have to slow down your experience in life. You're going to have to really learn how to go through the discovery process. You're going to have to learn how to really take inventory of your experiences with God. And for any experiences that you had, you might start to take inventory. I need to revisit that now that I have a stronger relationship with God so I can mine out the gold in that experience. Okay? And so, so as you start to really, do that, understand your worth and really tap in, you're going to start to find your zone, find your lane. And this zone is so powerful. You hear me? Tranisha, Tranisha, you are not stuck. Okay? You are not stuck. And God is unsticking your thinking. All right? Y'all, listen. You are unconditionally amazing, right? You are unconditionally valuable and worth who God created you to be. Okay? Unconditionally. So, what the job is for you to find structure to bring out your potential. What you have to do is find structure. Like, let's say, you're not feeling so great. You're not feeling so powerful. You're not feeling so creative. You're not feeling so successful. And it has you in a pit. Okay? Let's say it has you in a pit. So what you're looking for is your ability to climb out of this pit. You're looking for your ability to fly beyond your current experience. Okay? And so, with that being said, you have to be careful how you talk about yourself, right? You have to be careful the words that you pronounce over yourself, because as you think, so are you. So there's multiple ways that you can say things, okay? And so I'm gonna revisit this because I want to empower you, I want to help empower you to really build your success with your words, even with your own words, okay? So start to reframe. Start to reframe how you are viewing your experience, okay? And this is something that I'm doing as well. Like, no complaints. I'm being careful how I articulate my experience. Okay, Tranisha, no, you're not stuck. You might be tired, but you're not stuck, right? God, you say, I'm ready. I'm ready to unstick my thinking. You have to declare and decree. You have to prophesy over yourself. I feel stuck, but I am not stuck. I am winning with my awareness that I am not happy with where I am today. You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing, Tranisha? I'm reframing your words. Okay? You build your life, you build your success, you build your wealth, even with your words. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And so, how can I put a positive spin on this? Y'all know I'm very, transparent about things that I want to be transparent about. Okay. This year I got myself into some debt. Okay. For the first time in 39 years, I got myself into some debt. Okay. Because of my transition to full-time entrepreneurship. Okay. And with that, I could have took up my energy and my mental space beating myself up. Why did I do that? Why did I sign up for that? Why did I could have took up my space and preoccupy my energy with complaints and beating up myself. But what I learned to do, okay, what I invested in myself is worth it. And while it is uncomfortable, it has been uncomfortable to have that stress. It was necessary because you know what? And I'm still doing this. You know what? Growth doesn't come from comfort zones, and I am investing in the way that I knew to invest in my success, in the success for me, my children, to be able to provide an inheritance for my children. You see? And so, yes, Renita, I will. And I'm gonna get you on that one, okay, Renita? Watch this. Watch this. I will. No, sis, I am. You see the difference? You see the difference between I will, because I will could be 5 minutes from now, or it could be 5 years from now. Okay. So build with your words. I am manifesting, okay, my wealth that I desire. You see the difference? And do you feel the power of just changing that one little word? Yes. And so, Tranisha, listen, I feel like, and okay, remember, you guys, I could easily, so I'm in, I'm positioning myself to help other kingdom believers build their personal brand based ministries and businesses, right? That's the space that I'm in. This is the lane that God put me in right now. Okay. And I could say, well, I've been going through this, for so long. I just broke into full-time entrepreneurship March of this year. And I could look at, somebody that's been doing this for years, already making multi six figures, seven figures, doing the same business, and have that discourage me, right? I could do that. But I decide, hey, I am unconditionally wealthy. I am unconditionally valuable to myself, to my children, to the community that I'm building. And while I may not have manifested physically all of the success that I know I'm walking into, okay, I have not manifested it all. I have taken inventory of my experience. I have taken inventory of my progress since I started this whole deal in 2018. You see? And so and so with each experience, with each thing that I can say that could tear me down, I choose to reframe it. And it's not brainwashing myself, it's not lying, right? But it's looking at it from an abundance point of view. Okay? I'm looking at my situation from an abundance point of view. Listen, I am declaring in faith. I am not being blindsided by, just the natural experience right now. Even though, like, I have so much, you guys, to thank God for, but I could have a lot to complain for that I choose not to complain about. Okay. And so, what I'm learning, I kept this here, growth doesn't come from comfort zones. I am learning. Ooh, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. That the more we stretch to be visible at whatever level you are in, okay? The more you stretch to be heard at whatever level you are right now, okay? Whatever whatever you have to share it, okay? And this is the nugget, all right? As you begin to invest in your dreams, your desires, your ambitions for ministry, for business, for empowerment, for impact, okay? It's going to get uncomfortable. It's going to get uncomfortable. I remember, I know I'm all over the place, but it's a lot. It's a lot to share. I have a lot to share, you guys. I remember my first time in, I think, 2017, investing in a coaching program. And I think the program was maybe $1,500. It might have been $1,000, $1,500. And I was like, oh my, no, it might have been just $500. It might have just been $500. And I was like, oh my God, I've never done anything like this before. Okay. And then I invested in a program that was like maybe 22,000, $2,500 or whatever. Okay. And then, with every phase that I wanted to invest in my business, it came with more requirements out of me to believe and to put my money where my mouth is. Okay. Earlier this year, I invested in, one-on-one coaching and, things like that. And it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. And it was like, it made me question myself. It made me, think like, what am I doing? You know? And with all of that discomfort, I've learned that what God was doing was, and let me show you this opportunity, okay, with the uncomfort that comes with investing in your dreams, your desires for ministry, for business, okay? When you choose to see it as an investment, right, rather than as a waste, what God is doing is He's helping you to really. It's kind of like a bow and arrow. You're going back. You're feeling the tension. You're feeling, the pressure of the investment. And when it's harvest time, when it is harvest time, and you release the arrow, okay, y'all, what you're going to collect is your wealth when it is harvest time. The pressure for me came when I started to invest in myself, and the harvest didn't come as fast as I wanted it to. Okay? The harvest didn't come as fast as I wanted it to. But how many know that there's wealth in the process, that God is processing us, to learn how to view things from an abundance mindset and not to always expect a microwave blessing. Yo, we're so used to, well, if I do this, then I want to do that. Just put and take, put and take, put and take. God doesn't work like that. Y'all hear me? God doesn't work like that. God's ways are so deep and they're so rich, and there's wealth in the way that God does things. Okay? There's wealth in the way that God does things because, I'm invested. I'm being, I don't, okay, God, okay, I guess. I'm just like, okay, God, you're taking me in this direction. Fine. Okay. So, I'm growing a business, right? I'm growing a business. And with the business, being 15 years, CPA, corporate finance and accounting, there's always like, okay, when we're going to have, the return on investment. And we literally have a calculation. Well, you invested this much. You invested this much this year, and this is your rate of return. So it's going to take you this many months or this many years to experience a return on your investment. Okay, I'm not trying to lose you guys with the accounting terminology, but let me tell you something. Okay, when you begin to invest, not just the time, okay, when you begin to sow seeds of time, energy, you begin to sow financial seeds of in your dreams, in your desires, in the vision that God has given you. You might not think that you are getting a return on your investment with the money right away. But let me tell you something. Like I said, God's ways are not our ways. What God is doing, you. He's building up the equity in you, in your mind, in your will, in your heart, in your emotions, in your outlook on life, in the things that you say, in the things that you do, with your mere presence. God is building equity in you. And so you can't just always look at how many likes you got, how many loves you got, how many shares you got, how many sales you got. How you can't just always look at those metrics. Okay? You have to look at how patient God is creating you to be. You have to look at how creative. This is another thing. This is another thing. If you always have a super easy win, when do you grow in your creativity? When do you grow in your ability to become a queen, to become a king, and really like dig deep in your creative power to manifest even greater things? Am I making sense? You guys, am I making sense? And it's funny because God just has me here because I just made the hugest decision of my life, you guys. And it's like, okay, he's speaking to me through me. Okay. So with that being said, you guys, I just I'm trying to boil it down. We're gonna talk about this some more. But I want you to understand, okay, how valuable you are, how valuable your dreams and desires are, okay? Yes, you. Yes, your dreams. Yes, your desires. Yes, your ambitions. I want you to understand how valuable they are, and they are worth your time. They are worth your energy. They are worth your financial investments. Okay. And I'm saying this to say they're also worth the time that you sit in that uncomfortable space as a result of you spending time, you spending energy, you spending money. They're worth the time that you sit in that uncomfortable space and process what you need to process so that instead of fear, you feel opportunity. Instead of heartache and heartbreak and sorrow, you feel joy and abundance, and you feel peace. This can be a book. This can be a book about the wealth that there is in your holistic health, the wealth that there is with sitting with yourself in your moments of stretch, in your moments of transition, in your moments of growing pains, and how you go through that process to go from, being just all upset with anxiety and panic attacks or whatever is characterizing your growth process, how you go from that to a life of faith, a life of faith. You hear me? Where everything can be turned upside down. Yes, Tacola. Those moments of stretch, those moments of seemingly anxiety and fear, and just fear of uncertainty and panic, and all of that. When you sit right there, you don't shout over it, you don't dance over it, you don't try to speak in tongues over it, you don't try to act like it's not there. Your wealth is in those moments when God is giving you the comfort that you need when your physical is uncomfortable. He's giving you the spiritual comfort When the bank account ain't reflecting how rich you feel in your heart, he's giving you that spiritual richness, that spiritual depth and abundance. So that when storms rage, when winds blow, because you know it's gonna happen. You know, he's giving you the character that requires not just for you, because he's also grooming us. He's also growing us to be leaders, to be light, to be kings, to be queens, to be the priesthood, to be the kingdom entrepreneurs and builders. And so he's giving us the character, the spiritual character, the spiritual substance that's required to lead people, to lead other people, not just ourselves, but to lead other people through change, through transition, through stretch, through growing pains, you guys. So I have a call in 3 minutes. But you guys, I'm saying all of this to say, you're worth it. You're worth it unconditionally, okay? You are worth the time, you're worth the space, you're worth the financial investment. And as a result of you believing in you enough, it's not enough to just believe in God. You have to believe in you and who God created you to be and what he created you to do in order to make the investments that your vision requires. Okay? And when you do, that's your wealth. That is your wealth, that you can have something to work with to manifest into something. Okay. And so with that being said, I'm going to close it right now. But I want to offer any of you that have listened to this to book a 15-minute call with me. Okay. Because I want to know what your dreams are. I want to know what your desires are. I want to know what your hesitation is. Okay. Because I want to get you over that hump, so that you can start to give your dreams, your desires for ministry, for business, for whatever it is that God has for you. Give them the time and the attention that they deserve, because it's not just about you. It is about the souls that God has assigned you to. You hear me? It is about the souls that God has assigned you to. I want you to get over that hump, to stop minimizing who God created you to be, and the impact that he called you to have. Stop minimizing it. Start to invest in it. Invest 15 minutes. Okay, go to the link in my pinned profile and invest 15 minutes on a call with me to discuss, okay, what God gave you to manifest in you and in your vision for legacy. I love you guys. I love you, and we will be back. I'm not going to be here Thursday, but we will be back. I love you, and I am praying and believing on your behalf. Okay? Take care.